Right, class. In this instance, I'm going to apologize first. It's still going to be a boring video just showing you how to do your general ledger. Hopefully by the end of the year, your teacher will be able to put some funny little men or silly little cartoons in your videos as well. But for the moment, we're just worried about you passing the structure test, and therefore I'm going to explain a little bit more about posting to the general ledger from your CRJ and CPJ. Now, the first thing that you need to remember is that you need to write AED and CIL at the top of your page. Also, don't forget to put your arrows next to each account. And in order to do that, remember you need to know how to classify your accounts. Then, secondly, you're going to start your exercise with the balances or totals provided. So if they give you information about a balance or a total that's given to you at the beginning of the exercise, you know that on the first of the month, you are going to bring that balance or total down for each and every account that you have either a balance or a total for. Then secondly, you work with the totals of both your CRJ and CPJ. You take the total of each column at the end of the month. And then the second very important thing is you are going to use the individual line in the sundry account and a specific date of transaction when you take it to the general ledger. So remember now, you have totals from each column at the end of the month and then specific days or dates for your sundry account. Now, when you work with your posting from your ledgers to your general ledger, remember that your first step is that you are going to take the receipts of both your bank columns for the CRJ and CPJ to your bank in the general ledger. So, in the CRJ, it is the total receipts that you're going to take to the bank column, and as it is an asset, and assets increase on the debit side, you will write there on the left hand side below the balance brought down on the first, you will have the 30th of the month with sundry account and the total of your bank. I will show you that shortly using exercise 1.5 as an example. The same goes for your total payments. In your bank column in your CPJ, you're going to write sundry accounts. The end of the month, the date is the end of the month, and these are your total payments. Now, you've given me 1/2 of your equation. Your scale is heavy on the one side, either with income or with expenses that happened in your bank. Now you need to show me where you allocated the rest of the money. So if you received 10,000 Rand in your bank on the debit side, or you paid 5,000 Rand out of your bank on the credit side, you now need to show me how did I spend this money. So now you're going to use the totals of the other columns in your CRJ or CPJ, and you are going to write them in as with information bank as the contra account, and post these totals to your general ledger. So let me show you how. Right, when we look at exercise 1.5, you will see that they gave you in 1.5.2 the following opening balances. So you had to use these balances to start your general ledger and to put these balances in the right side of wherever they belong. So your bank would have a debit of 1,100. Equipment would have debit of 50,000 rand because it is an asset. Drawings would have a debit of 5,000 rand because remember it is AED. And then the C on the credit side would have a credit side balance brought down of 56,100. So those are the balances that you had to bring down in your general ledger before you could start your exercise. Right, once you've done that, now you're going to look at your information. And you will see that task 1.5 is very easy. All the receipts are on one side and all the payments are on one side. Now these receipts are, the detail of the receipts is just numbers 2 to 25. Here you see them. 26 to 34, 35 and so forth. This is the day that the transaction took place. And then, of course, we said if you don't know who you received the money from, you will just call it cash. And this is your analysis of receipts. Remember, this is known as your till. Right, so you are going to put everything in your till except if it goes straight to the bank. Now, I'm not going to talk about the cash journal as such, but I am going to look at posting. So now remember, we said that you are not going to write a total for analysis of receipts because all the analysis of receipts was written down in the bank at the end of the day. So we're going to total the bank, which gives us 46,769. And this amount now is the total of all the money that you received. Then when you draw a line like this, following that, the other columns, for instance, fee income, commission income, capital, supplies, and interest income, those totals, these two in other words, will make up the total of 46,769, telling you how we spent it. In exercise 1.5, when we look at the cash payments journal, we see that the bank column tells us about all the money that went out of the bank. So this is, first of all, you write the journal, the total in the bank, and then you tell me how you spent the money. So in this instance, you pay 2,800 rand for supplies that you bought. Okay, now I'm not going to look at the journal at this stage. We are looking at posting to the general ledger. So our first step would be to take the total of the bank column, put it in our bank, in our general ledger, which is the B3 account, and we will put it as sundry account on the credit side, CPJ, and the total of 28,809. Then these totals will make up the balance of the scale to tell us how you spend the money. Remember, when you have sundry accounts, you are going to deal with each of those according to the specific date. These totals, this one and this one, supplies and wages, will be taken at the end of the month. Now let's look at our general ledger. As I told you before, you need to bring down your balance first. Now here you see that you've brought down capital. On June the 1st, capital is the C of the AEDCIL account. So it is a positive balance on the credit side of 56,100. Then you had a payment of 5,000 rand capital that was given to you in the CRJ in your sundry account, and you will bring it down from your sundry account and it is 5,000 Rand. You will total the two biggest amounts at the bottom, 61,100, and it is only one side. So then you carried it down to give you a total of 61,100 both sides, and you brought the balance down at the beginning of the new month of 61,100. When we look at equipment, you see that the only transaction that happened there was a balance brought down for 50,000 Rand. But the one that I actually want to look at is the bank. Now let's look at the bank. Now here you're going to see that you had, on the 1st of the month, you brought the balance down that they gave you, which was 1,100. So you had a positive bank balance of 1,100. You're writing it on the debit side because this is an asset. Then on the 30th, we don't call it total receipt, so please scratch that out. You're going to call it sundry amount, and you are looking in your CRJ, and it's the total of all your receipts in your bank in the cash receipts journal, which was 46,769. And on the 30th, you're going to do sundry account as well. Please remember, it is not total payments. It is from your CPJ, and the amount was 28,809. Now you're going to balance your bank by writing the biggest number at the bottom and the smaller number. You minus the smaller one from the bigger one. The difference goes into the gap so that you can balance both sides on the bigger amount, and then you're going to bring the balance down in the new month. Right, I just want to show you one more thing, and that is what you're going to do with a nominal account. So when we look at the nominal account, we see those are the N accounts, right? And you see that you had transactions in your CPJ, in your sundry account. You returned something, so you gave it back, and therefore it was written you will put it in your CPJ because you didn't receive money, you actually refunded the client. And then fee income in your bank account on the you're gonna take the total out of you're taking the total from your column and adding it there, and you will just, what you will do is you will minus the small one from the big one and give me a pencil total for your trial balance. Right, I really hope that this helps, and that you will do very well in your structure test tomorrow. Keep well, guys. Bye.